Welcome to Build Your Maverick Business, the podcast for underdog, outlier, and renegade entrepreneurs. Brought to you by Strange Creative Studio. If you dream of going off on your own and launching your rebel empire, but don't know where to start, you're in the right place. We'll teach you how to use mindset, branding, and practical advice to build a killer business and transform your world. And now, here's your host, founder of Strange, Alex Pitt.
Hello everyone, welcome back. I feel like the bougiest bitch right now. So it's my birthday on Saturday. Yay, happy birthday to me. And yes, I was born on April Fool's Day, which does explain a lot, I think. My lovely, lovely parents asked me what gift I would like for my birthday. And being really old and bearing in mind that my business is my favourite hobby, I asked for a new office chair. Oh my God, I have armrests, I've got a headrest. I am sinking into memory foam heaven right now. I'm so happy. It doesn't take much. So this week brings us to the final instalment of the Branding Beyond Your Logo series. And before I go into this week's content, I've mentioned that this framework is one that we use in the Not Just a Pretty Logo online course. Now, this course is pre-recorded and comes with a workbook, so there's a lot more in it that I can walk you through on a podcast series. That's particularly the case this week, this final week, the final module, which is all about design. Now, I've told you all of the reasons why we don't start with your logo, why we don't look at visuals first. And so now, and only now, we can talk about designing your brand. So the Not Just a Pretty Logo course, like I say, is pre-recorded and it's all videos. So in that course, in this final module, it's all very visual. Okay, we go through some design theory, look at some examples, talk about colours, fonts, etc. All very top level. I still advise anyone who is not a designer, you work with a designer, please. Thanks. But this, however, right, is a podcast. So I can't do all of that. I can't do all of the visual stuff. Instead, what I've decided to do in this episode is talk you through the practicalities of hiring your designer. All right, how to choose them and the best way to work with them once you have found the chosen one. So that's what we're going to do. That's what we're doing today. So as I say before, I was a graphic designer for going on 10 years before I started Strange. And now, part of my job is to find the right designers to work with on our team. So I've experienced the client-designer relationship from both sides. When I started writing the notes for this week, I started with a lot more tips. And I whittled it down so as not to overwhelm everyone, because every relationship will be different. So I've landed on 3. I've got my 3 tips for you today. So number 1. Don't hire someone just based on their portfolio. The relationship is so integral to everyone doing their best work. So ideally, you want to hire someone who you get along with, who comes recommended and who has a good attitude. That attitude is very important. So it's in everyone's best interest, right? When you start, have an introductory call to see how you gel as people. Don't just treat this whole thing as a business transaction. This is creative stuff, right? It's all very subjective on both sides. So there's going to be an ebb and flow of opinions. You want to make sure that you're going in positive and you're on the same page. Now, in the past, I've interviewed designers who had the most incredible, beautiful portfolio of work. They were also cocky, unenthused, and spoke to me like they were blinded by the ray of sunshine shining out of their own arse. Did I work with those designers? What do you think? You want to look for someone curious who asks questions. The best designers I've worked with are always the ones who do more research into the reasons for the designs. They're not plucking anything out of the air. Not someone who does the obvious thing, but who digs a bit deeper to communicate whatever message needs to get across. Remember, design is a language. Everything I've told you in this series is to work out what this design, what your brand design is saying about you and your business. You can't translate it if you don't know what you're saying in the first place. And that designer is your translator. So treat it as a collaboration. Not like you're hiring someone to do your bidding just because they know how to use the software. Designers have spent years honing their skills, and they have an eye for things that others don't. They want the best for you, so trust the process and treat them like a partner. Okay, number 2, hire within your budget. Now, I want you to imagine walking into a Ferrari dealership, right? You're looking around and you've decided you want a Ferrari, right? You have seen the one that you want. You've seen the thing you desire. You can picture yourself driving in the car and you are excited. So you approach the salesperson, point at the car you want, and then reveal that you only have the money in your bank to afford a second-hand Skoda. You smile, confident that you will indeed walk away with a Ferrari because you've seen cars on sale for loads less. How ridiculous of this dealership not to let you have the Ferrari on the cheap. And anyway, you will be advertising the Ferrari when you drive it around the country lanes. It's great exposure for Ferrari for you to have this car. Oh, it sounds ridiculous when you put it like that, doesn't it? And I know that's an extremely exaggerated example, but this is the little dance that a lot of clients and designers have with one another. So I am telling you right now, this is so true from all of my experience. It's in everyone's best interests for you to work out how much budget you can allocate realistically to your brand design. Then find a designer that fits within that budget. Finding the designer whose work you like and then asking them to come down on price never ends well. Even if they agree, you're not going to get their best work and they will likely end up resenting you as a client. At which point, the aforementioned great relationship will break down. If you don't have a great deal of money when you start out, don't panic, not everyone does. Just start off with what you can and rebrand later down the line as your business grows. Now, my third and final tip for you, darlings. Make sure everyone understands the brief, the scope, the expectations, and the timelines. Do not make any assumptions on what will be included in the project and get it in writing. This one will save everyone so much time, effort, and frustration, in fact. You want to be laying out in advance some very clear expectations on both sides, okay, before any work has started. This includes things like what exactly you will be receiving in terms of finished files at the end of the project. How many revisions will you be able to go through? After those have been spent, will there be any extra cost for more revisions? Is there anything that isn't included in the designer's fee that you will still need to pay for? Things like if you're getting a website done, web hosting. Fonts sometimes have extra costs involved and that can't be predicted in advance. Things like that. Okay, do you have a set deadline? I fully recommend, even if you don't have a set deadline, put one in place. Otherwise, things really do tend to drag on. Don't make any assumptions and make a point of asking your designer before work has started if they'll need anything from you, so everyone knows what they need to do and what is expected. Again, leans heavily into that first point of working with someone who you really get along with and keeping that great relationship going. Now that is quite a lot to think about, but the good news is, like I've said, if you get tip 1 right, if you find someone that is lovely and friendly who will help you bring that brand to life, then all that's left for you to do is go forth and prosper. All right, you lot, that is it for me for this week and for this series. So I will catch you here next time.
Got an idea for a maverick business of your own? Learn how to build a powerful brand that will get people obsessed with our online program, not just a pretty logo. You'll learn a simple step-by-step framework that will kickstart your killer brand and help you find your raving fan base. Find out more today at strangecreativestudio.com.